If you want to use Fairfax County's Google Apps for Education, first thing you need to do is set up your account. You go to your Blackboard page, you go to My FCPS, you go down to the bottom, and it says activate your account. You're going to need the login and the password that you use for your computer every day. You're going to need to be at a Fairfax County facility. Likewise, your students will have to log in the first time as well at school. They're going to need their student ID. Once they've done it at school, and then they can then go home and log in, it's not going to be a problem. And then of course they would either do this, or they go to docs.google.com and then do their student name, and then at fcpsschools.net. Once you log in, the screen looks like this. It's blank, and what you need to do is you need to either upload using this device, or you need to start creating. So I'm going to create a few quick things for you. First, you will see the first thing is a document. That's just a Word document. A presentation is Google's word for PowerPoint. Spreadsheet is the same. A form is so you can do questionnaires for other people in your department or for your students. You can call it an entry ticket or an exit ticket after a lesson plan. You've done it with the students. Drawing is nothing other than paint, and collection is Google's word for folder. So let's start with that. Oh, and down here you can get different templates for presentations and for documents. So let's go here. One of the classes I teach is World History 1. I've created a folder. Go back up here, collection, next class, U.S. Government. As you see, there's two folders on top of each other. Now if I click on the red one, I can either right click or I can go till I get this little arrow. A new screen can appear, and for right now I'm just going to show you that we're going to create a subfolder. So I'll go to collection again. So let's call this Congress, and now notice that it's indented itself. And so I can create executive branch, I can create policy, I can start creating sub ones. Now if I want to put things inside of Congress, again, get it so it's red, click on it, create, and let's make a document this time. First thing I always tell my students and colleagues to do is to click on the document title. So House of Reps. Usually if it's my students, I always ask them to do the last name, maybe Holla, House of Reps. And you come in here and you can say, hello, how are you? And then it's just like a normal Word document. I could drag the cursor over it. I could change the color. I can change the size. I can change the type. I could put a link, and you'll notice if I run the cursor over these things, insert image, have 1, 2, 3, and then I could just return it. Now this is kind of interesting. If I turn it and then I do it again, it's going to keep indenting. All I have to do is keep returning and tabbing. If I make a mistake, of course, I could do the back arrows, and I could undo everything I've done. Once I've finished, what I want to do is be able to share it with others, with my students or my colleagues. To do so, I go to Share. Let's pretend we're going to share it with students. Right now, it's only accessible to me. I want to change that, so I go to the Change bar. I'm going to change it to here, people at Fairfax County Schools with the links. Can right now view, but I could change it to can comment or can edit. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to say Save. Now I have another choice to make. Down here at the bottom there's a very small change word. Let's say I gave it to colleagues that I want to share with in my department, and I wanted them to be able to do everything. Well, if I didn't want them to accidentally delete it, for example, I would have pushed this button. Only the editors can change the permissions. Since I don't really care right now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to say change and done. Now that URL up here or this URL up here are one and the same. So I'm going to Control C. And then I'm going to go to Blackboard. Find my government class. There it is. No, that's not even my government class. I'm going to go to Holla's Government. I'm going to add Control Panel. Go to Control Panel. I'm going to go to Assignments, just as I would normally do. I can still get a folder but instead of an item, I'm going to add an external link. This is important. I'm going to put in name, house. I'm going to Control V, and there's my link. I want the page to be able to pop up out of Blackboard. I don't want it to be contained within Blackboard. I don't want it to, I want to make sure the firewalls don't stop anything. So I'm going to, this is very important, go to open in a new window. And then I'm going to go to submit, and you can't see it right now, but I just do the submit as I normally would, the OK. And you can see now it's at the bottom. It's just a link to house. The advantage of doing this is if I came back and I needed to make some changes on my original Google Docs, those changes, if a student looked at it the instant I finished, they could pop up Blackboard and a new page would show up with the changes. So for example, in government, I'm constantly finding new things, world history or whatever class, you might find it in the middle of the year and you don't want to save it and upload it again to Blackboard. Well, you don't need to. Another thing you can do that's pretty cool, if you go to Congress, create presentation. Again, it's everything you can do in a normal PowerPoint except one much quicker than you do in Microsoft PowerPoint. You go to video, doing House of Representatives. And now we got facts on the House of Representatives, and we select it. Anything in YouTube is there, and you can move it around by pushing the cursor down, or you can make it bigger. We save it. We start the presentation, and we can immediately click on the cursor, and you will see.
And now, another fact of Congress.
That it's there. So
the
let's
House of
stop that. And if you go back to the collections, you can see I could click and I could create all the other things. Or I could share the entire folder, for example, with everybody in my department or whomever I wanted to within Fairfax County. And so it becomes a very powerful thing you can do. Again, you can upload things. I hope this has been helpful to you.